Today we're here in Orlando, Florida, doing our annual community outreach event at the East Annual Conference. We're at Boone High School today, and there are about 500 students that are all enrolled in their Health Services Academy and their ROTC. We have an all-day event planned for the students with about 40 volunteers.
This outreach event really meets East's vision and mission statement of fellowship and collaboration. It really allows the surgeons to come together to give back to the communities that we're visiting, and it allows us to collaborate with members of the community as well as other healthcare professionals. So we come up with these topics not just because of the things that we've done previously, but by reaching out to the community to figure out what is important to them to bring to their students. So we discussed it with Orlando Regional Medical Center as well as with Boone High School and the Orlando Public School System. And we decided to pick 3 topics. The 3 topics are distracted driving, stop the bleed, and burn safety. In Stop the Bleed, we're teaching bystanders how to stop life-threatening bleeding in emergencies. In distracted driving, we're teaching students how to prevent themselves from entering into motor vehicle collisions. And finally, in burn safety, we're teaching students, number 1, how to avoid life-threatening burns, but also how to keep themselves safe and how to treat themselves and how to seek help if they need.
It's important for us to get this out to as many people as possible and getting it with the students. They're bringing this out into the community and with their families. They're able to disseminate this information even further.
Students to be able to have firsthand experience with other healthcare professionals. That way they're able to not only learn the information but also be able to return the demonstration of some of the different skills that they are being taught today.
This is really the age where they're pretty impressionable, and we can talk to them and really make a difference and get to them before the injuries actually happen. As a trauma surgeon, we see these injuries far too often, and really getting to them before they develop these poor practice patterns or habits is really beneficial. So our Stop the Bleed program is a national initiative that we're doing, and the students here are really interested in it because a lot of them are actually enrolled in the ROTC, so this is really pertinent to their future training. At Stop the Bleed, they learn how to control bleeding using either tourniquets or gauze to hold pressure, and here we're actually doing a little bit more of a creative approach with dressing up some of our victims with wounds so we can do interactive ATLS scenarios with them, which I think is really beneficial.
So Stop the Bleed is an initiative that was started after Sandy Hook to get bleeding control techniques and information out into the community and resources out there that they can be immediate responders while we're waiting for first responders to get there. So the more we can disseminate this information, the better it is for the community.
I think it's important for our students to learn Stop the Bleeds, and just in case they are ever out in an emergency situation, they will be able to know what to do and how to prevent a patient from hemorrhaging.
So what you see behind us here, this is actually students learning how to implement techniques on bleeding control. They're learning how to pack a wound, what to put in that wound, and how much pressure to apply, techniques to apply pressure either with your hands or putting a knee on it, and also how to apply tourniquets to themselves or to others.
When you are in an accident or you are injured, the #1 cause of death is bleeding in the first hour or so. Someone that is standing right next to you can help you the most. It takes firemen and paramedics some time to get to you, so if we can teach you how to use a tourniquet or how to put pressure on a wound, you might be able to save someone's life.
So in Stop the Bleed, I learned how to administer first aid bleeding prevention to anybody I see in the field. Before this, I didn't really know how to effectively control a bleed, and packing and the tourniquet use really helped me understand what it takes to properly control a bleed, not just apply pressure, but actually try to clot it and save someone's life.
In today's program, Stop the Bleed, I learned how to pressurize the wound, pack it, and know when to use a tourniquet, and in different situations what to do. What I would take away from today's program is I really enjoyed it. I loved the program as a whole. The Stop the Bleed was really informational. I learned a lot from it.
From today, I definitely want to go home and share this knowledge with my friends, my parents, my family. Just let everyone know around me what's important, what they should know, and just how to stop the bleed.
Here in our distracted driving program today, we have a lot of different things that we're using with the students. We have our driving simulators where it actually simulates being drunk or distracted driving while they're texting and driving, so it actually shows them what it's like. We also have drunk goggles, concussion goggles, and virtual reality headsets for them, so they can actually feel what it's like to be intoxicated while driving, and they realize, you know, the dangers of it.
So our program today is consistent of 3 major areas. One, we have a lecture just kind of talking people through what exactly distracted driving is and what different components are involved, because it's not just cell phones, it's not just the radio, it can be lots of things. We have a wonderful trivia section where we are engaging our students to help participate and understand just what distracted driving is. And our third component, probably the most fun component, is the virtual reality sections that we have where the students can actually drive and see what it's like to lose the sensitivity in your steering wheel, or to wear goggles that simulate what it's really like to not have clear vision and losing your balance, and what that's really like. And so far today our students have really been engaged. They've done such a great job, and I really think they're going to take away something really great from our program today. Outreach programs are super important because you get to reach a lot of people in one go. And it's really important for us to come out to these high schools and talk to the young people, because young people are very easily involved in these distracted driving crashes. And so if you can reach them and help them understand just how dangerous it can be, our goal is to get 0 crashes, and especially when they're related to distracted driving.
Today, I would take away from the program is telling my friends more about distracted driving, because I know some of them do text and drive, and I would tell them you have to be more aware of your surroundings, because while I was in the simulator with it, me myself, when I was looking at the person texting, I didn't even notice the car next to me, and I had gotten into a car accident with it. I knew that distracted driving was bad, but I didn't know how much it actually does to the driver themselves.
So this is actually our first year doing burn safety in our community outreach program, and I think it's absolutely wonderful. The students here really don't get too much exposure to burns, and let alone burn first aid, and how to actually take care of burns once they happen and what to do with them. And we're fortunate enough to have the Orlando Fire Department here with us today to show us how to use fire extinguishers. And to have a fire extinguisher simulator model for the kids to actually use. And we actually have some burn trauma victims that are here to tell their stories to really hopefully impact the kids.
So the Orlando Fire Department responds to about 60,000 emergency incidents a year, 40,000 of which are medical calls. So we think this is a perfect opportunity to come to Boone High School and talk to the students about medical care. We are here every year to teach the 9th graders CPR training, and so ahead of Burn Awareness Week, it was really important for us to kind of share the message of burn prevention, burn treatment, and to top it off, to do a little bit of fire extinguisher safety.
So understanding what the first things you can do to help someone who may have had a burn, whether it be from fire itself or a chemical or even electrocution. Knowing what to do and when to get them to a hospital is super important.
Today I learned more about burn safety. I didn't know that alcohol can also cause, help out with fires, and also learn more about how to treat a burn. Like, I thought you could put cold water on a burn, but now I know it's like lukewarm water that you put. And I learned how to, in case of a fire, what you do, how the smoke can also kill you as fast as the fire will.
I have learned all about how to cook properly and how to not set fires in my dormitory. As a soon-to-be college freshman, I know what not to do when I'm in a dormitory and what to do just in case there's a fire. This program has definitely changed my perspective because I never knew how leaving a candle on or leaving food on the stove for too long could easily set a fire.
So I think it's important to give back, whenever we have an opportunity to. East has always made this event really easy for us, and they make it easy to participate, and it feels great to be able to come to a meeting like this. Really gives us a chance to step back and remind us about why what we're doing is important, and interact with the communities. And doctors are still sort of the voice of authority, so hearing from a doctor, seeing what we do every day, hearing a little bit about our practice and saying, hey, this is real to us. Like we see this in our emergency rooms, I think drives home the point a little bit, and really helps them to understand.
So an opportunity now to come and reach out to them, and maybe them hearing from somebody else about why it's important not to have the cell phone, or to just wait to eat until you get home. If that could save a life, if that could just change one person's life, how great would that be?
From today's program, I've been able to build upon all my medical knowledge. Being in the Academy of Health Science here at Boone, we've learned for the past 4 years just basic medical knowledge that everyone should have. And today we've been able to learn a little more about the trauma side and how to help someone in a life-threatening situation.
Thank you very much for watching the video. If this is something you're interested in, please feel free to reach out to us and sign up for next year's community outreach event.